we were renting that building, and then they sold the whole shopping center, and I got a notice, hey, you got to move out in 60 days. I'm like, I'm out of business. My wife, Melody, comes down here and says, we're going to find a place, we're going to build a building, and we're going to start a new legacy here. My name's Mark Corvin. I'm with Corvin's Furniture and Flooring, and we've been here in Bardstown for almost 40 years. After my tour of duty ended with Fort Knox, I was going to go have a job with an insurance company. I remember my father saying, he said, is that really what you want? I said, I don't know, but I needed a job. So he said, why don't you try a furniture business? Controlling your destiny is when he said, you'll never have an opportunity to do that, but once or twice in your life. This is your opportunity. Go out and try to work for yourself. Try to own your own company and see what happens. He said, take a risk. We went to the bank, and the bank said, hey, we believe in you. We think this will work. We got a loan, and, we never looked back. I rented 2 places downtown Bardstown to put a furniture store in, and I went to an auction and bought some furniture, and the rest is history. 40 years later, we bought this place. It's a 100,000 square foot building. We own 13 acres here, and I look back on it and I think, if we didn't have that conversation with my father and my mother to go believe in yourself, to go try and be your own boss, start your business, I'd be working for someone else today. When you say the American dream, it was the American dream come true. There's very few times in life when you can go to work, see your kids, and you get to work with them, see them every day, where a lot of times as you get older, you only see them during the holidays. I get to see my kids every single day.
I'm Justin Corvin, Mark's oldest son. I've been working here since 2015. It's not always easy. Sometimes we do butt heads and clash over different things and old school versus new school ways of doing things, but in the end, we come together always, and it's always for the best of the business.
My mother, who's 93 years old, still alive today and still works today. Works 6 days a week. My father passed on about 7 years ago. That's one part I miss. At the end of the day, if we had a successful day, we would always call each other, hey, we had a good day, this is what went on, things happened, and, try this, it's working for us. And, we don't have that conversation anymore. We do miss that. But, I assure you, he's very proud of us. Yes. Bardstown, has given us all this. We owe everything to the community of Bardstown. That's what small town America is about. You've got these big companies, there's no face or name to it. There's a face and name with Corvin's, and it starts with me and my wife and my children, and then hopefully their grandchildren's going to be in here too. So
I don't think as a child you ever realize how much effort your parents really put in, all the work that goes into everything. Once you become a parent, it's like your eyes become open to all the work and the cost that it actually goes into raising a child, and how much you took it for granted.
We're not the smartest, we're not the luckiest, but you know what? We're going to be the hardest working people out there. My wife was there, she supported me, her name's Melody, and she was right there. She said, don't worry, everything you make goes back into the business, with Lincoln National Bank. Those guys believed in me, and they gave us loans. They supported us, and it was simply, Mark, what do you need? You've proven to us you can make it. If someone said, what's key to getting ahead in business? I'm going to be the first to tell you, get a good accountant. You don't want to have problems with the IRS. Get a good accountant, but get a better bank.